There's a question that makes brilliant people flinch, and it's supposed to be the easiest question in the world, like preschool small talk. So, what do you do? And you feel it, don't you? At half second calculation. Do I give them the short version, like the clean, tidy label that's technically true, but completely wrong? Or do I try the real answer and watch their eyes glaze at, well, it's kind of hard to explain. Every branding expert on any platform will tell you that the flinch is failure. If you can't explain yourself in one sentence, you lose. Pick a lane, niche down. Health, wealth, relationships, choose your box and stay in it. I've spent 15 years working with the hard to explain ones, and I'm telling you, that flinch isn't a branding failure. It's a moat. And it might be the most valuable thing about you, especially in the age of AI and commoditization. This video is going to explain why the advice to niche down has been quietly killing your best work. And it's not because niching is wrong. It's because the unit of niching, how it's traditionally taught and done, has expired and, well, nobody sent the memo. Let me tell you exactly who I'm speaking to because it's not everyone. So if you're right at the start and you're 2 years into your work or earlier and you're building your first offer, niche down genuinely. Pick the lane, earn the reps, get paid. This video might not be for you yet. I'm really talking to the seasoned operators, the ones with 15, 20 years across multiple domains. The ones who have been brilliant in every room and categorizable in none. The ones who follow the advice, they picked a lane, they wrote the clean bio, they served the machine, and then they looked up one day and they realized that they were competing against people with 18 months of experience. WTF. People who should be their mentees, not their competitors. Now, if that is you and it landed somewhere in your body, stay. Here's what we're going to do in the next, 10 to 15 minutes. One, I'm going to show you the exact failure sequence, like clockwork, mechanically, step by step of what happens when a genius operator, a category of one, forces themselves into a traditional niche. You felt it and you've probably never seen it named. Second, I'm going to show you what the market actually grabs onto now, especially when someone like you gets found, because it's not a category and I have actual field data on this for you. And then three, I'm going to give you the replacement, the thing that you build instead of a lane, including the story of a woman I worked with who was trapped in a traditional box until we found the thing that she actually did. And then the world's stages opened up. And so stay to the end because I'm going to leave you with a question. It's the question this whole channel exists to answer. And once you hear it, you won't be able to unhear it. One thing before we go in, everything I'm going to be describing has a first checkpoint, and it's the same one that I run with anyone that I suspect might be a category of one, waiting to be unleashed. It's called the Category of One Blueprint. It's free and it's linked below. Fair warning, it is a sorting document, like a sorting hat from Harry Potter. So it might tell you that what you're doing right now is not in a category of one, and that's okay. That there's a proven playbook that already exists for what you do, and you should go run it. But if the signal holds, it hands you the map for the terrain that has no roads. So if this video starts to feel like recognition, like finally being seen as the enigma that you are, well, that's your cue, and you can use the map to start to cultivate your greater expression. All right, let's dive in. When it comes to niching, you've likely been offered exactly 2 camps, and maybe you've even oscillated between both. I have. So camp 1 are the niche gurus. The riches are in the niches, as the saying goes. So essentially, pick a problem, pick a person like an avatar, or pick one promise. Say it so simply that a stranger, even a 5-year-old, can repeat it. And then those who serve the niche camp, they have the receipts. So they have real testimonials. Their work is very simple. This is A for B because of C. The case studies are real. And for a certain kind of business at certain stages, this really works well. If you can do this, you should do this. Your success path will be a lot simpler. Camp 2. These are the refusenicks. So these are the ones that just can't be boxed in. I'm multi-passionate. My work is too big for a label. And you know this camp too. So you may have said those exact words before in the shower, after a networking event, and you're rinsing off the awkward cringe moments. And honestly, this camp has a point. The box is likely too small to hold you in your work. But here's what I want you to notice. These two camps, they're two sides of the same coin, and they've been arguing for decades. They're arguing about the wrong thing. They're arguing about width. How narrow should the box be? How big should it be? Camp 1 says, go narrower. Camp 2 says, wide open, no box at all. And nobody's asking the actual question. Who drew the box? Because both camps accept the same premise, that the available categories are the ones already on the shelf. Health, wealth, relationship, business strategist, photographer, weddings and engagements. Pick from the menu or refuse the menu. Those are your options. But for you, my category of 1, both options fail. The first one shrinks you far too much, and you already know this. The second one makes you invisible. Because I refuse to be categorized isn't a position. It's an absence. It's an abdication of ownership. And the market cannot grab absence. It can't grab air. And so if you've been spending years oscillating between these two camps, here's what that will look like. You niche down, you feel the shrink. You rebel, you go broader, you feel and then you feel the invisibility. No one sees you. No one knows you, and you panic and you niche down again, right? Sounds familiar? And it's like Alice in Wonderland. She shrinks, she grows, she shrinks, she grows. That oscillation isn't indecision. It is the correct response to 2 wrong answers. So, I've got you. Here's the crossing. This distinction that it'll change the way that you look at this whole thing. There are 2 completely different operations hiding inside the word niching. And because they share a word, everyone treats them as one thing. The first is niching by market. So you pick a demographic and an aisle. Burned out female founders, men over 40 who want to get fit, couples in crisis. This is the version of on every guru's whiteboard. And here's the part that nobody really says. It's just a simple system for organizing interchangeable providers. So it works beautifully when what you sell is a known solution to a known problem. Then you have a shelf, you have a place to go. And shelves are for products, offers that come in rows. The second is niching by position. So you don't pick an aisle. You name the thing that only happens when it's you. This is the special sauce for category of 1. What walks into the room when you do? What isn't there when you walk out? The specific work, the specific seeing, the specific results that have only your fingerprints on it. And then you make that thing that the market grabs. And many times, I'm not getting into this today, but many times you create your own market. Now, so we have niching by markets, we have niching by position, only the work only you can do, right? Watch what happens when a category of 1 operator confuses these 2. You'll take 20 years of range, or 10 years, heck, 10 years of range. pattern recognition of craft, and you file it under a market label so a known shelf can see you and hold you. And the shelf does exactly what shelves do. It displays you in a row with other options next to everyone else with the same label, including the coach or the professional who got certified in that thing 18 months ago. Here's the sentence that I need you to sit with. A traditional niche does not make you more legible. It makes you legible as an average. The market doesn't see your 20 years. It sees your label, and it prices the label at the going rate of everyone else wearing it. So the lane didn't clarify you, it camouflaged you as the median of your category. That's why the advice keeps failing you, even when you follow it perfectly. You aren't bad at niching. You are niching in an expired way. The market lane is built for interchangeable services, products, or providers, and you are constitutionally incapable of being one, which raises the obvious question. If the failure is this predictable, what does it actually look like from the inside, stage by stage? Because it has a sequence, and you're about to recognize every single step so you never fall into this sand trap again. Here is the niching failure sequence, 4 stages. I've watched it run start to finish more times than I can count. Sometimes, even on my better days, it gets the better of me, and I'll start in it and have to catch myself and pivot back. So it always runs in the same order. Here we go. Stage 1, there's the constraint. You surrender to what all of the traditional experts are saying, because obviously experts, teachers, gurus know more, right? So you pick the lane, and immediately something in you feels tighter. It isn't maybe dramatic always, so there are things that you can do, things that fit a label that clients would pay for, insights that show up in every session. But what happens when there's a good portion of your work, a percentage that doesn't fit the label that you just chose? You pause them. You tell yourself it's temporary. I just need to get known for health, wealth, relationships, right? Some kind of bucket, solution or problem solution. And so all of this is temporary. So I'll lead with health stuff, for example. And once they're in, they will get the rest of me. And then you make the deal that every category of one makes at this stage. If that's what it takes to succeed, so be it. Notice what just happened. You didn't lose a battle. You volunteered to be reduced. That's why this stage is so quiet. It's tiny, and it doesn't feel like a wound or an issue. It feels like discipline. Now we have stage 2, the amputation. So whatever lane you chose, it doesn't stay as a lead-in. The lane has appetites. So like the content calendar wants lane content. The bio wants lane language. The referral partners want one lane sentence that they can just repeat and send people your way. Those are all good things. And if you can have them, you should have them. But here's what happens. In the amputation stage, week by week, the paused parts of you that don't fit those categories, they stop appearing anywhere. So they're not in your marketing, they're not in your offers. Eventually, and this is the stage where it gets dangerous, they're no longer even in your description of yourself. You're no longer hiding your range. You've just stopped presenting it. And the market can only buy what it sees. Here's the brutal part. The parts you amputated, maybe they were never like the decoration, like I'll get them in the door with health and then I'll give them these other things. What if as a category of one, the parts that don't fit the label are your best work? That's what the title of this video means, the topic of this. Niching down isn't killing your work. It's killing your best work, selectively, precisely, the way that a machine-ordered lane always does. It will make you a commodity instead of a category of one, and it keeps what's average about you and it cuts what's singular. And that brings us to stage 3, the camouflage. This is the part where categories of one really start coming like undone with anger, rage, resentment, and I'll show you why. Run the tape forward. You have chose a lane. You're in the amputation, right? And the parts of you that fit that label, which is by definition, the parts of you that look like everyone else with that label. Let me say that again. The parts of you that fit that label, the parts of you that look like everyone else with that label. The lane didn't just shrink you. It kept what was like everyone else, and it deleted what was singularly not like anyone else. So essentially, you've been optimized for resemblance. And so the market does the only thing that it can do with what's visible. It files you. Next to the coach with 18 months of experience, next to the certification mill graduate with the exact same biostructure and the exact same Canva templates. People who, and I want to be precise here, should be your mentees. People who, in a correctly ordered world, would be taking notes in your workshop. And the shelf has priced you at the row rate. And the cruelest part, from the outside, it looks like it's working. The brand is clean, the message is clear, the gurus would grade your funnel as an A, and the camouflage is freaking excellent. That is the problem. Because that leads to stage 4, which is the wrong yes. This is the stage that almost no one warns you about because they don't understand the sequence that created it. The referrals come. The lane produces exactly what it promised. So if you hired gurus to help you with this, it worked. The demographic matches. She does health stuff. You have health stuff. Call her. And they do call. And they do buy. And they're fine. It fits the label, but it misses the essence of what you can really do. And so they came for the easy category, and they're calibrated to that level of category. They want the median service at the median price with the median depth. This is where when you get the wrong yeses, they will fight you on your standards, on the way you operate, on your delivery, on your pricing, every little bit, because they wanted the median service at the median price with the median depth. And when you reach for deeper work, the actual work, they blink because that's not what they ordered. So now you're succeeding, right, by every external metric inside a business that runs on a fraction of you. Serving people that matched your label instead of your energy, your genius. And now you're competing on price against your own should-be students. And slowly concluding, and this is the terminal stage, that maybe the problem is you. Maybe you're too much. Maybe you're too scattered. Maybe you're too hard to explain. No. Every system is perfect, or every outcome, is perfect because of the system that created it. And this is one of those. So run the sequence backward and look at it. Constraint, amputation, camouflage, and the wrong yes. Nothing in that chain says anything about you being broken. Every link says the same thing. You put a category of one on a shelf built for categories of thousands. And the shelf did what shelves do. If you're feeling that recognition right now, the specific uncomfortable kind, do not look away. Take the first check, the category of one blueprint below will sort it cleanly. Either there is a charted territory for you in your work and you can stop suffering the mystical journey that you never needed, or you are a category of one and everything that you just paused in stage 1 is exactly what belongs on the table. And I give you some questions and frames and a flow for how to start excavating and refining the work that only you can do. And it starts out with a dump every puzzle piece out on the table before you build anything, which, notice, is the exact reversal of the amputation. All right, as promised, here's the example. What do you do instead of building a lane? Let me show you with a real one. There was a local photographer that I met. She was talented, obviously talented. And the market had filed her exactly where the shelf files photographers: weddings and engagement shoots. It's a clean niche. It's searchable. Every guru would have approved. And it was strangling her, because wedding photographer described the occasion, one of many, that she showed up at. It described nothing about what she actually did. Here's what she actually did. Whether it was weddings, engagements, spiritual initiations, branding, she could see someone's wilder essence, the thing under the posed smile. And she could capture the look in their eye on film so precisely that people would look at their own portrait and they would sit back and they would go, whoa, yes, that. The way she could see people, move with them, breathe with them, draw that out of them. It was like photographing wild animals in their element. No fear, no forcing. Just this uncanny ability to be present with something untamed until it revealed itself. Her photographs didn't just document people, they created them by how they were seen. Now, hold those two side by side. The shelf says weddings and engagements. The truth said she photographs the wild in you, and people meet themselves in the print. Same person, same camera. One of those descriptions puts her in a row next to every other photographer in the country, competing on package, price, and convenience. The other has no row. There is no shelf for that. No comparison set, no going rate. That's what we built. Not a new lane, a named position. The thing that only happens when it's her. Threaded through every single strand of her business, by the way. Her portfolio stopped being organized by occasion, and it started demonstrating the seeing, her offers, her language, even her contracts, the way that a first phone call felt, all of it transmitting the same signal. And the world responded in the way that it always responds to the unmistakable signal. Stages opened, big ones. She's successful to this day. Now, from the outside, that looks like luck. A lightning strike, if you will. But it isn't. It was engineered alignment, plus training her to carry it. Because a position that singular demands a person who can stand in it without flinching, especially when there's pushback, and there will be pushback. So what looks like magic from the outside is usually just precision from the inside. So let's make it yours now. This is what replaces the lane. First, name the position, not the market. Stop asking, who do I serve? That question hands you straight back to the shelf. Instead, try these on for size. What only happens when it's me? What kinds of people tend to light me up and bring out my best? What is my best? Those are deeper questions. They aren't your credentials and they're not your modality. It's the specific result, the happening with your fingerprint on it. The photographer's answer wasn't photography. It was the seeing. Yours is buried underneath everything that you pause in the constraint stage 1, which is why the excavation starts with getting every piece back on the table. All of it. The domains you blend that most people never enter. The thing that you've watched so long that you see what no one teaches. The work that you keep doing, even if you could never tell anyone. That's stage 1, or step 1. Step 2. Then look at how to claim a when, not a who. So a niche targets a demographic typically. A category of one tends to get found at a moment. So I'm for the founder who's already done everything right and can't figure out why it's not working. You get it? I'm the one you call when you've outgrown every coach you've ever hired. I'm who you meet after you watch someone change and you need to know why. That's still targeting, and the market can grab it. The algorithm can grab it. There's a few tricks to that, but we're not a tech channel right now. A referral source can repeat it, right? But the boundary is drawn by the situation of an arrival, not an aisle category. There's nobody else that can be standing at your moment, is my point. So look for a when, not just a who. And then third, demonstrate much more than trying to explain. You're still going to get the question, so what do? And the more playful you can be with your answers, the better. You can absolutely own unapologetically. It's hard to do, but hard to explain, but let me give a stab. So here's your liberation. You no longer have to win that moment with one clean sentence. Own the flinch. I love it, right? So own the flinch. Honestly, I'm hard to explain, but let me tell you about the photographer. And then you tell a story, a client, a situation, a transformation, a moment, and you let the story do what the label never could. Heck, some of these times I've even told a myth or a movie story. And I said, so I do that in the modern world, right? This, that changes the way that somebody orients to you so that you're not just problem solution filed in a category. It's like you coming alive and inviting them into a story of themselves. Now, this does require you to be findable. So category of one and niching differently doesn't mean you being invisible. You don't get to hide behind, I'm private, I don't do video, and call it special sauce depth. That's not protecting your essence. It's installing a ceiling on it. You have got to still pick the platforms, the rooms, the places where you show up visibly, where you can be the most yourself, and you train how you're experienced by others until the real thing transmits every single time. The position must be witnessed to work. Your category of one position must be witnessed to work. That's non-negotiable. So let's come back to where we started. Somebody asks what you do and you feel the flinch. Except now you know what the flinch actually is. It was never evidence that you're broken, scattered, or bad at branding. It's evidence that you were handed a shelf and you were never a shelf item. Then we have the constraint, the amputation, the camouflage, all leading to the wrong yes. That whole cascade sequence ran because you were measuring you, a category of one, with a ruler that's built for a category of thousands. So instead, you name your position, you claim the when, and you look for ways to demonstrate rather than explain. That's the work. And I won't pretend it's a spreadsheet or a worksheet that you knock out on a Sunday afternoon, because the hardest part isn't the strategy. The hardest part is that a position only you can hold requires a you who can hold it in public, under pressure, without flinching. The photographer didn't just need a new map. We could have done that pretty fast. She needed to become the leader who could command what she was actually capable of. That's trainable, and it's literally what we do. Inside the Prestige, we train exactly this, hand in glove with exactly these kinds of categories of one people. Business and body, position and person built together. And I want to be straight about why the community part matters too, because for you, it isn't a bonus feature. You have spent your entire career being the unexplainable one in every room, the one who translates themselves constantly, the one no one quite has a name for. And do you know what happens to a category of one when they walk into a room full of categories of one? Imagine it. The translation stops. Maybe for the first time, you're not the strange one. You're among your own kind. Each one singular, none of them the same. People who recognize the pattern of you, the essence of you without needing the label. That room changes what you believe is possible in the impact you command faster than any strategy ever will. The door is linked below, and if you're not quite ready for the door, yes, the blueprint is still the first check. But before you go, here's the question I promised you, the conundrum that I want you to sit with. If you're not a niche, what are you? The comfortable answer is sitting right there in the category of one, and you're right. Because there is a trap on the other side of this thing, subtler than the shelf issue. And I'd argue more dangerous because it's the thing that you're most proud of. Here it is. The way you operate, your gift, what walks into the room when you do, the thing that's carried you this far, it's the genius in you. It has a ceiling built into it, and almost no one sees their own. Because after all, who criticizes, who audits the thing that's working? That's the next video. It's called Your Gift is Your Ceiling. And so this video today showed you the box that other people built for you. This one will show you the box that you build for yourself. So subscribe to the channel, hit the alert so that the next video finds you. And if you already know that you're done translating yourself, the prestige is where we train exactly your kind in a room full of them. The link is below to connect. I'll see you next time.